so excited.
Welcome, welcome. So should I explain to you with a few words, with a couple of sentences, what the Akashic records are, or are you already familiar with that?
I'm familiar. I read your material and I was already familiar. So, but if you want to share anything, I'll receive it. I mean,
Okay, sure. So just maybe to quickly sum it up, the Akashic field it has had many names throughout the centuries. And the name that I like the most and that comes to me closest to the explanation of what it is the memory of God, because it's a record of everything that has ever happened, what is happening right now, and what could happen in the future. So, like all the ideas that God has about the future, you could see it that way. And it's a field that existed even before our universe was created. And it contains also information about other parallel universes and other cool stuff. And because it's so vast and so like mind-boggling, for us as human beings, it's sometimes difficult to translate that knowledge. So the way I'm connecting to that field is I actually use a prayer that connects me to the Akashic field, and I call upon the ascended masters and teachers to answer questions that we have. And the idea behind that is that we as human beings don't know what our soul path is and what the goal of our soul is. And so we don't know what is happening. Is it for our bad? Is it for our good? Was it supposed to happen, or did we make some mistake on the path? And that's why the universe is trying to bring us back on the right track. So the masters and the teachers, so they're beings that have ascended, so to say. They're on the highest level of existence, and they see everything below them, so to say, or from on the lower. I mean, it's not below; it's everything. It's actually just one point. But they say everything in the other dimensions. Hi, Kitty.
this is BB.
I have a dog here. What's her name? BB.
Her name's BB Queen, kind of like BB King, the
Okay.
old soul musician,
Nice.
blues musician. She's BB Queen, yes.
Hi, BB. Yes, so because they see everything in the other dimensions, they know which information will serve our soul and which information will not serve. So, for example, if somebody asks when I'm going to die, then we will most probably not receive an answer for that, because it will not serve the soul or the person to know that. And also sometimes it's already, so to say, predestined, or like the soul has decided, okay, I will live 95 years. But sometimes it depends on our choices, and if it's important, then we will receive that information, like, hey, like if you don't stop, with the drinking, you might get the chance to incarnate sooner than otherwise. So yeah, things like that. And also the future is not carved in stone. It depends on the choices that we make. And the masters would like to support us in making the best choices. So these ascended masters are like Buddha and Jesus and other beings like that. And also the teachers are all kinds of beings that we don't call them ascended masters because they were never in a physical form and they never ascended. So like, for example, Archangel Michael or the archangels, they're just like teachers, so to say. We don't call them ascended masters because they never ascended. They were always there. So yeah, I guess that's the short version. And we can ask anything in the records, but again, the information that comes, we cannot control it. Yeah, we can trust it's just the one that is for the best of the soul. So having said that, the way the session works is we start with a short meditation. It's kind of an energy work to kick in the transformation on the energy level, because also that's one of the goals of these sessions, that you don't just receive information like reading a book, but also that something shifts in you and in your life. So it's kind of energy work as well. Is this okay for you?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, great. So we will start with this meditation. It just takes a couple of minutes, and I will most probably leave you in the process of experiencing that. And then I will open your records, and then I will let you know that they're open and you can ask your questions.
Okay.
So to open your records, I need to know your official legal name. So is it Robert Nicholas Hamitter?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You don't have any other first names, last names?
No, my nickname is Nikki, but that's my name, my legal name.
Okay, great. Perfect. So if you're ready, you can just sit comfortably and relax and close your eyes. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Perfect. And just focus on your breath. And just observe your breath, how it gets in and out. It's like the waves of the ocean, flowing in and flowing out, like the tide waves. And just like the water cleanses, imagine that your breath cleanses you too. When you breathe out, imagine that you're breathing out anything that does not serve you anymore. Any unconscious patterns you might have, or any stuck energy that needs to go now, has served its purpose in your life. Just decide that you're ready for a shift, that you're ready for a change, that you're ready to let go of the past and be free to create your future. And then when you breathe in, imagine that by breathing in, you breathe in all that you do need for unfolding your full potential, for bringing your dreams in reality. Breathe in all the energy you need, all the ideas and inspiration, all the new patterns, all the new habits, all that will serve you and will serve your highest good. And just enjoy this breath for the next couple of moments. Breathing in this beautiful energy that serves you and transforms you. And breathing out all this that you don't need anymore. And when your records are open, I will let you know. When you're ready, you can slowly come back and open your eyes. Your Akashic records are open. And I'm getting just the first impression is like some super happy energy, like lots of butterflies flying around. And they're saying that this is who you are, this is your essence, this beautiful and colorful and joyful being who recognizes the beauty of life and appreciates that and wants that everybody else can recognize it too. And they want for you to see that in yourself and to appreciate it. And they're saying don't allow anybody to make you feel wrong about the way you are, the way you see life. It's okay to see life in a different way than other people. We don't all have to see things the same when we don't have to. we shouldn't. We are supposed to be different and colorful. Yeah, they're just that's the initial message. Don't allow others to put you down and tell you that who you are is wrong. And they want you to recognize your true nature.
Thank you for that. That resonates. It really resonates. All my life that resonates. Okay, thank you.
Nice. If you want, like they're like suggesting, if you want, you can like have a painting of butterflies or something that can remind you of that colorful nature of this joyful light being that you are.
Okay, I already have some ideas about that. Thank you.
Great. And they're also saying that butterflies are very tender creatures, like very like they're not like the bears, you know, like big and bulky. Butterflies are very tender, very gentle, but they are the carriers of hope. And yes, maybe the butterflies are not like the toughest, but they make life beautiful and magical. Yeah, so that was just, yeah.
Butterflies will be my spirit animal for a while then.
Nice. Yes. And they're also a symbol of transformation because
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Which I really identify with as a Scorpio. There's a lot of transformation in our sign. Also identification with the Phoenix, which is also a transformative figure. So I can relate. I resonate with that. And like you said, them being gentle, that's an element of me that I've struggled with, being sensitive, being gentle in a world where men are supposed to be manly men. And I had a father who was the manliest man of all. So everything you're saying resonates, and I really appreciate the messages.
Yeah, that's why they try to show you how important butterflies are and how like not everybody needs to be a tough bear. It would be such a sad world without all that beauty and gentleness of the butterflies. And again, they are a symbol of transformation.
Yes.
And actually they transform, I think, 3 times. So it's like multiple transformation. Like they're first worm, and then the
larva,
cocoon,
and
and
caterpillar.
then yeah. So yeah, and they're also a symbol of it doesn't matter what, like, yeah, it doesn't matter how you start. You can always be a butterfly at the end. Like you can transform so many times in life.
Mm.
So what would you like to ask?
Oh man, I got a few questions. I'm gonna start with what's most important to me, and just see how much we can get done. But this is the most important, and it's a question I ask myself all my life, and that is, why am I here? I've asked myself that so many times in my life, very recently even, and I could elaborate a little bit, like be a little bit more specific, or I could just
Sure.
leave it there. How do you feel about that?
I mean, the more specific the question, the more specific the answer will be.
So why am I here? And how do I use my talents? I see some things I am very strong and gifted with, and I would love to understand how to better utilize them for my own well-being, and if I can, anyone else's well-being. And to add to that, how could that be an occupation or maybe volunteer work or something? How can I practice that in some kind of way?
And which specific talents do you mean?
I would say, for one, just I just feel like I'm a natural teacher. And I think the reason why is because I'm very accepting, and I kind of allow a space for people to be wherever they are, whoever they are, meet them where they are. And I'm very good at that. I'm very good at, communicating with any kind of person from any kind of walk of life and any kind of belief system. And I feel like I'm able to meet people where they are and just be an open space for them. Um, I'm also interested in art. I'm also very interested in electronics and technology. So that's kind of in animals and nature.
Okay. Okay, then I will first ask them about like why are you here, and then about your talents, how you can use them, maybe, or you can define the question a bit more differently if you want. Okay, so they're saying yes, from one side you're here to change the world, but no, not in the way you think. In the way you came here to develop yourself, to expand yourself, to learn more, to expand, to become more of who you are, and just simply your presence and the way you are changing, or the way you are developing in life, the direction that you're choosing, this is changing the world on its own. So you did come to influence the world partially through your work, yes, but to a greater extent, or to as big of an extent, also just through your being, just by being there, just by existing. So they're saying don't feel obliged to save others, or like to yeah, take others out of very bad situations, or if they ask you and if you feel like it, yes, go for it. But if they don't ask you, you don't need to bother. And also, if you don't feel like it, it also means in this moment you're not the best person to help them. Because you can imagine it, in the universe everything is energy, right? And it's a perfect cycle of energy. Like when we breathe in and breathe out, what we don't need is what the trees need, for example. So it's like a exchange of energy, and it's the same when we exchange energy with people. If it's not just like breathing is easy. Like we don't need to struggle to do that. We don't need to think about it. And this is an example of a good cycle. And also, like when we work with people, when it feels nice and easy, when we don't need to think about it, like when we are collaborating with somebody and it just flows, it's a good flow of energy. But if we feel like I don't feel like doing that, then it means it will not be a good cycle. So you're not the right partner for that exchange of energy, which means it's not good for you and it's not good for the other person. So even if somebody comes and asks for help, if you feel like it's not a good fit, I don't want to do it, not now, then you don't feel guilty for saying no. Just know that it's for the best of both of you. And also, if you try to save other people, this also means that in a sense you're taking away their power, because it means that they believe they can't do it on their own, and if you're saying like, oh, I'm the only person that can help, I have to, then it also means that you believe that they cannot do it on their own, which is not the case. They can do it on their own, and the best teachers are the ones that inspire our own potential, that inspire us to awaken for our own strength. So they're laughing a little bit and saying, yeah, just be this great teacher who just teaches by example, which means work on having the life that you dream of. And by doing that, you will carve the path for others. You can teach them how you reach there. So like just focus on your own development. This is already a great service to everyone. And a great teacher teaches through his being, not through trying to like reach and like, hey, come on, I will help you, come, I will save you, come. Right. Yeah. So that's about that. Does that resonate? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's something that I kind of felt like I know and I do, but I feel a little tugs from the world sometimes, people close to me, that makes me feel like maybe I should go about things differently. But like you opened the message saying, don't let the world dictate what my inner guidance is telling me and how I'm feeling pulled to move in directions. And, there's been a lot of inner conflict with how I feel I should move and how I think I should move because of what society, family, whatever says. So I don't know. I just felt like everything you said was an affirmation to what I feel in my gut. And the idea of not, I've thought of writing for a long time and thought of like, how does one help others? And I've always felt like it's a individual kind of intimate thing, for me at least. Maybe some people are supposed to reach the masses, but for me, it's for the ones who enter my circle that I just open up completely to and give them the space and go deep with them. But I don't feel like I mean, I can do larger groups and touch larger people. I feel like I'd rather keep it, quality over quantity, and just be able to go deeply and more intimate with, individuals, small groups, not spread myself thin and all that. So
yes, but you don't need to also like put boundaries. Just they're basically saying do this which brings you joy in this moment. If you feel like working with single people, perfect. If you feel like working with smaller groups, perfect. If at some point you really want to work with bigger groups, do that. This desire or this inspiration or this pull is actually it's your soul communicating with you and trying to give you nudges, which is the right direction. And so two more things were coming while you were speaking. One is because you were saying to follow your gut instead of your thinking. They want you to know that that's correct, because the role of the mind is to learn from the past and collect experience that can serve us in the future, but it cannot predict the future. It just knows the past. It's not created to predict the future. But our heart knows the whole path. So here we collect the knowledge and experience that we need for our path, but this tells us the direction. So it is indeed correct. They just want to confirm for you to follow your gut and to follow your feeling and your inspiration. And if somebody else tries to persuade you differently, you can just know that they're usually doing it out of love for you, because they want the best for you, and they think that the best will be this and that, but they don't know your path. They have no way of seeing your evolution, your soul path. So this feeling knows the soul path. This doesn't. And the other thing which was coming when you asked about what your purpose is, they also say that one of the purposes or the goals that you have is also to bring the new type of masculinity on earth, this transformation or this balance of the male and female energy, because until very recently masculinity has been abused, and it's not serving neither women nor men in this expression. And they're saying that, yeah, one of your tasks is to embody the divine masculine and to show the world what it means to be a real man. Yeah, and also a reminder that love is much stronger than anything. So if you compare aggression with love will always win. So yeah, so a man who is a loving person compared to a man who is more aggressive, then this is a more real man than this guy here. Even if society is still saying like, yeah, the macho guy is the real man, but this is just a distorted view of what masculinity should be. But yeah, it's not divine masculinity. It's our wrong understanding of it. Yeah. Oh, and they're also saying that think about doing retreats for men, maybe, just teach other men how to embody that divine masculinity, and it's a process also for you to develop that more and more. So yeah, you can also learn with your students together, or you can explore it together.
That's interesting, because that immediately made me feel like a challenge, like it's not going to be an easy thing, which is good. Obviously, growth. I see growth there, because I just tend to connect with women way easier. I mean, I have lots of men friends who I do go connect deeply with, but I just feel more of a affinity for women and feminine energy. So when you say that, I'm like, okay, I need to work. I need to work on that. I need something, have something I need to meditate on that and consider that. That's very interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, men nowadays, or I mean, not all of them, but many of them are quite lost because they don't know themselves what it means to be a man. Like the history tells them one thing, but like the life right now tells them something else, and they themselves feel in a totally different way. They're like, I don't know what to do. Should I open the door or not? Should I pay the bill or not? Should I show more aggression or should I be kind? Will she think I'm a pussy if I,
Yeah.
if I do that, or should I? And like, what it means to be a real man. So yeah.
And also just like being vulnerable. Like that was something men, and showing your emotions, or no, you push that down, you don't show it, you show strength, and what that has done to men is just, and me, men in general though, like all men, it's just so sad that we are so repressed.
Exactly.
And it makes sense why women live longer than us. We're so pent up and not allowing energy to flow and all that. But
yeah, this old kind of pattern has not served neither women nor men. So
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have another question?
Well, is there any particular career or activity that might really be beneficial for me? If there's no set answer for that, I'm fine with that. I just want to say it. I just want to ask.
Okay, I can just ask generally like that, or do you have some examples what you are thinking about, and I can ask them about these specific ones too.
I think I'll leave it general, and we don't have to stay on this question for too long.
Okay. Okay, so they're saying a good career for you would be something that is not putting too many boundaries around you. So something where you can be flexible, where you have your freedom. So like being your own boss, for example. Um, um, they say you also need um, to be connected with people a lot. So like just working alone at home for hours upon hours will not bring you as much joy. So interacting with people. They're laughing and they're saying like nobody's born to let's say be an accountant or be a high school teacher or be like we come with sole purposes, but then it's left to us how we implement that. So you're not restricted to any specific or fixed career that you need to pursue, but they're just answering you like which will be the qualities of that career, so to say, so that you're happy. It also needs to be something where you can expand on a daily basis. Like you can always learn something new. You can develop yourself. You mentioned in the beginning, I remember they just made like a connection of the dots, but I don't remember the things you said you're doing art and you like teaching, and there were some other
Writing, teaching,
right.
nature, animals,
Mm-hmm.
talking to people about deep stuff, that troubles them. Like I feel like that I end up being in that role a lot, and I enjoy it. Like I get a lot of gratification out of that.
Mm-hmm. Because it's possible to connect these things and do things that connect several of these dots so that you do it at the same time. So yeah, you can think about ways to combine these in a profitable way, let's say, because of course you also need to have some good income out of that. And this is also important. Yeah, don't feel guilty about being abundant, because the universe is endless and the resources of the universe are endless. So if we believe that we need to restrict ourselves and our abundance, this basically means that we don't recognize the endless nature of the universe. And also the more abundance you invite in your life, the more abundance gets invited on the earth. And this means that this shifts the energy for the entire society, for the entire earth, and it will bring us into an era of abundance. While right now most of the society are in lack, and this is because our thinking is, we are thinking in restrictions, we're thinking in lack, like that's not enough, there is not enough for everyone, or like I need to maybe, let's say, work 15 hours a day so I can have good income. And these are all just beliefs. It's not the truth. And they're laughing, they're saying, God has not worked a single hour in his life. He doesn't have an employer. So, and we are like God, right? So
neither does BB.
yes. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Trying to see what I can ask. I won't take too much time.
We have time.
Okay, there's basically.
Just one thing, I'm sorry. I don't know what's your relationship with your father, but they're saying you need to do some forgiveness work there. This will help you to expand faster.
Thank you. That noted. Very much noted. And it's something that I recognize as part of me healing.
Yeah.
I love my father, and he was also a very tough father. So it's a very weird love-hate relationship with him that as I've grown older, it's more love, but I'm sure there's more work there.
And also, like, he's a victim of this old paradigm of masculinity, right? So yeah, you can have compassion for him.
And can I say, like, I've had flashbacks and memories of him saying things to me where I realized that I softened him. Like it occurs to me later that I was like, that was a moment where he was going outside of what he normally did and what he learned all his life. And that I did actually, like, we both affected each other, but I have to recognize that too, that I was able to soften him, especially as he gotten older. But anyway, I hear you. That's.
And yes, and also life is softening him as well. I mean, he's learning his lessons, and the older somebody gets, the more he understands that life is not what we're being taught. It's like it's not standard, straightforward. Like yeah. Yeah, I mean, we become wiser with age, with experience. Is he still alive, or?
No, he passed in 2004.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're saying you can have him as your angel.
Saying what?
You can have him as your guide, as your angel.
Interesting. He's been in my dreams in the last couple of weeks too. It's very interesting.
Mm.
This is a quick question. I think, I don't know if you can answer it, but I've been wanting to know for a very long time when my time of birth is, because it's not on my birth certificate and I don't know how to find that out. Is that
You mean
possible?
like the date or the hour?
The hour. I'm assuming I know the date, but the hour is not on my birth certificate. Like a lot of birth certificates have that info on it.
Okay.
I kind of wonder if I was not born in a hospital, so like there's no one was keeping track of the time. But I don't know. I actually don't know.
Okay, let me ask. Okay, I'm getting like 5:15 p.m. So the sun was shining. It was during the day. Yeah.
Thank you. I always assumed it was early in the morning.
Well, that's what I'm getting. So yeah. Yeah.
I'll take that. Whenever I've done like a astrological chart, I always do it early in the morning, like 7 or so in the morning, because then I'm a morning, a very early bird. So I just assumed maybe I was born early. But thank you.
Well, they're saying that it's normal that you're interested in these things. You're a Scorpio, right? You said. So this is part of who you are. But you don't need to put yourself in boundaries or like in boxes based on what your birth chart is supposed to be. And they're saying there is a reason for you not to really know the real time or like the birth moment. They're also saying that the birth chart of a saint cannot be read, meaning that when we have went above our karma or above our lessons, like when we dealt with that, then we are above that. What was written for us, we are free to create our life as we wish. Like a student who has learned his lessons and has graduated, and then society says, okay, now I believe you that you will be able to take right decisions. So it's the same with people who are more advanced, let's say, or have dealt with the with a certain amount of lessons. Then life says, okay, I trust you now that you will keep on taking good decisions, and I don't need to keep you so much in check.
Okay. I think I'll just say to you, I'm not going to even do a chart with that time anymore. Like I feel like I hear that, like there's no reason to, like you say, box myself in.
Yeah, because you know who you are. So, and you're free to create your life the way you wish to. And they're saying that the chart is really a prediction of how life will develop if you don't deviate from, or like what's the highest chance of things developing in a certain way. But our goal actually is not to develop in the most obvious and predictive way, but to go beyond that, to out jump our potential, so to say. Yeah, so it will just restrict you. Yeah, you can have a more expanded life than that. Yeah. Do you have some other questions?
I pretty much the only thing left is part of me wants to just, ask just for anything that would just maybe help me along right now. But one of the last questions I was going to ask is just like from my ancestors or from maybe past lives or whatever. Just like, is there anything in the past that I should know now that would be beneficial? If not, then I don't need to hear about it. But
we can ask both questions. So I will first ask about your ancestors and your past lives, or like if there's something very important for you to know right now. And they're saying no, actually. They're saying this kind of question is useful for people who are not conscious, who are not observing themselves, who don't notice their own patterns. But a person who is doing that and who is observing his patterns and works on transcending them, doesn't matter where it came from. What is just important is that you transform it. So basically, anything that is not serving you, like any kind of pattern that you might notice right now in yourself, just work on that, transform it. And it doesn't matter if it came from past life, from the childhood, or whatever. And very often, or like always, things that are karmic, if they are big lessons, they repeat in the childhood, so that imprint, so that energy gets imprinted into this life, so we can work through it. So it's there anyway. So sometimes it's good to know if you need to know this in order to forgive someone or to understand something better. But right now they're not saying that there is anything specific that you need to know about that. Just one thing that about your dad and your grandfather. They're saying, remember that your father was a better father than his own father. So he did a good job, even if for you it looked maybe tough, like that he was tough or that he was not that perfect father. He improved a lot on what his own father was as a father. So you can appreciate that. And I anyway always ask at the end for like a message they have, like something we didn't ask, which they think should be important, so we can ask that as well.
Okay.
They're saying, we want you to know that you are perfect. And you can see it like a flower or like a rose bush. It's beautiful. the way it is, and then it grows and it's still beautiful, and then it expands even more and it's still beautiful. So it is the same with you. You are perfect and beautiful the way you are, and yes, you can expand more in a direction that you wish to, but not because you're not perfect right now, but because the universe is endless, and our goal is to go back to God, right? To reach that potential. So until the rose bush becomes as big as the universe, it can still grow. But it's perfect as it is, and it's beautiful as it is right now. So just recognize that in yourself. And when you recognize that in yourself and in every other being, then you're fine. You don't need anything else. And it's not an easy thing to recognize that, and it's not an easy thing for other people to recognize that about themselves. So if you can help them to realize that, you would have done a great service to the world.
Living it.
Yeah.
Being a living example.
Exactly. And by reminding others that they themselves are also like this rose bush, perfect and beautiful in every moment, with potential to become as big as the universe. But this does not mean that they're not beautiful right now, that they need to reach somewhere to be that. No, they are already that. You are already that. And they're saying, do you notice you're talking to you about butterflies and roses? And yeah, a man can admire flowers just as well, and God created flowers and butterflies and all things beautiful.
I take a lot of pictures of flowers, and when I can, butterflies. So yeah,
nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. So they want to say that this is not a sign of not being masculine. It's a sign of being divine, being like God. Yeah. Okay. So that's a beautiful picture with the rose bush. They've never explained it to me in that way, so I will take that as well.
I in my head see this planet being covered with rose bushes, and it just keeps going out, and then it gets the moon, and it just keeps going out into the universe, into other universes. But I like that. I might have to make that an art project, actually.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So thank you, Nick. It was a real pleasure to connect with you.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate you meeting with me. I'm so glad I was referred to you. I feel like this was exactly everything I needed to hear and wanted to. And I'm just so grateful. Thank you so much. I so appreciate it.
Thank you. And they're saying just thank yourself because you created that. You called that into your life.
I will be grateful to everyone, including myself. Yes, thank you. Thank you. And you're beautiful. I so appreciate your energy and just the message you pulled through. I so appreciate it.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I wish you a great day. I will send you the recording.
Yes.
And I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.